Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate and I want to show you how much I love art and hopefully inspire you to love it too. Here I want to show you the process for one of my ICAD's Index Card a Day Challenge cards. And this was from July 4th and the prompt was picnic. So as you saw in the beginning, I had chosen some papers and I have a bunch of different papers that had gingham, but today I decided to go with pink. I don't know why I chose pink. I just felt the pink that moment. My art has little to do with training. It's just all instinct. And here you saw that I was going to try to measure some things, but then I decided, why the heck am I doing that when I already have this rectangular template that I could use for literally everything that I'm doing. So I knew that the picnic basket needed to fit on this card, so what I did was centered the card over that dark, over the split between the two boards, and then cut so that I had an even amount on each side. Then I cut it down to the size I wanted the picnic basket to be. I cut the same amount off the bottom and the side, and then instead of immediately cutting the third side, I decided that I would do my fold on that line there, and I used my pencil to score it because I was too lazy to get up and get my bone folder. But I wanted to have my fold straight before I cut that line. So then once I had folded it, then I drew the line that I was going to cut on, just using the side of the paper. Nothing complicated. Even though I come up with a pretty complicated result at the end, none of the steps are difficult. Anybody can do them as long as you have the mobility and the desire. So here I use my corner rounder because I've never seen a perfectly square picnic basket. Maybe you have, but I wanted mine to have rounded corners. I also found this paper that I completely forgotten I had purchased, and it has all this beautiful blue and white china. So I went ahead and I cut out, I think, maybe 4.5 plates, so that I could use those inside my picnic basket, because I am a very fancy picnicker. Anyway, I did choose to use one of these plates to draw a mandala on, and I'm not sure how much I love the result, but you'll see it in a minute. I don't actually show the mandala drawing process, and I'm not going to make you suffer through all of the fussy cutting, just one little bit of it. So I just went ahead and cut around each of these plates. It wasn't too hard, but my top tip for cutting, especially fussy cutting, is to move your paper instead of your scissors. It just ends up with a smoother result and looks a lot better in the end. That's all. That's the reason for my tip. And here you see me approaching the end of the fussy cutting, and I have all of the scraps up there at the top of the screen, and oh, I cut off a couple of sides of those plates. And here you see me thinking to myself, I'm going to need a bottom of this picnic basket as well, because it's going to open and I want people to see something pretty inside and not the gingham check, because that wouldn't make sense, would it? So I cut a rectangle the same size as the top of the picnic basket, and then I cut off a certain amount from each side. I love this quilting ruler because if you need a straight line within 2 inches, you can line it up, and you have a straight edge to work against. You just line it up with that straight edge and get it to the right line on the vertical of the ruler, and go ahead and draw. Much easier than having to like mark several points. So as you can see, now I'm using some fun foam to go ahead and create the dimension for my picnic basket, because I wanted to be able to put things in it. I know, I'm crazy. All of my ICADs were a little over the top this year, but I enjoyed it so much. And as you can see, I cut several pieces of fun foam, and then I cut out the middle of the fun foam. That step maybe I should have shown better. Here, I want the plate that I drew my mandala on to actually look shiny. This is the thing that's going to come in and out of the picnic basket. So I went ahead and used clear embossing powder, and I just put it all over the entire surface of that little plate. And then I heat set it. Yeah. So the fun phone thing I did, I'm going to go back to that for a second because you're just going to watch me do the heat setting because it's fun to watch. I probably should have shown that better because that was actually a little bit more complicated because I needed to do 3 pieces that were just slightly smaller than each other so that I got kind of like the tapered inside of my picnic basket. That was probably the most complicated part of this project beyond drawing my mandala, which actually was a pretty simple one because I knew that the pattern on the plate itself was actually going to distract from my design. So I maybe didn't put as much thought into it as I normally would. And here I am just gluing down that piece of gingham pink check so that it kind of looks like a tablecloth that's been set on the ground for my very fancy blue china picnic. Then I'm gonna glue down the bottom of my picnic basket. As you can see, you can see the top of my picnic basket over there under the black fun foam pieces. I did not try to hide that rainbow pattern on the back side. Like, who cares? Who cares? I'm gonna have a picnic basket with rainbow insides because that would totally be me. Anyway, so as you can see here, I'm using, what is it? Aleene's Quick Tack glue, and it's also the kind where they have the cap so that you can set it on your desk and it's always upside down with the tip facing down so that the glue is always ready. I love it. And this is also the quick drying formula, so it sets up really fast and I've enjoyed using it a lot. It's actually become my go-to glue. I did go ahead and cut a little piece out of the wood paper so that it would go on top of the picnic basket rim where you're going to be able to see it peeking out from under the lid. And there's my cat ampersand joining the fun. This is another good tip. If you cut something out of paper and you're going to be able to see the edge, I often go ahead and just, especially if it's white and it's going to distract the eye, I go ahead and just use a black marker or pen or some other color if you have it and it makes sense with the project to go around the edge of the paper. I always recommend doing this from the back side, the side that you're not going to see or not going to see as much, because you may actually draw on that side accidentally. And here my picnic basket is done. I kind of had thought about doing a handle, but I decided that it was just too much after already spending 4 hours on this. I know it's only 10 minutes for you, but I probably spent about 4 hours on this project. Now that the picnic basket is done, what would a picnic be without some ants? So I went ahead and drew some ants just in a line, trying to get into my picnic basket. Apparently they're crazy for blue china because I definitely did not put any food in this basket. That is something I also considered because, of course, I have a giant hoard of paper, and in that hoard of paper there is plenty of patterns with food that I could have fussy cut out, but I decided it didn't matter. The only thing that really mattered was being able to pull that plate in and out. The embossing powder did make the paper curl up a bit, so I do try to flatten that out. It doesn't really matter though. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun during ICAD doing some over-the-top things. If you want to check my art out on a regular basis, go ahead on over to Instagram and follow me at Cagelio. And if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Hope you have a great day. Bye!